Before there was a world, there was nothing. No sky, no sea, no ground beneath your feet, no light to see by, and no eyes to see at all. Only darkness and a deep restless water with no shore, formless, empty, silent. And then, over that dark water, something began to move. What happens next is the beginning of everything. Every story you have ever heard, every life that has ever been lived, begins right here, with a world that did not yet exist, and a single voice about to call it into being. This is the very beginning, before the first morning, before time itself had a name. The earth lay formless and empty. Darkness covered the face of the deep, and over the dark, drifting water, the Spirit of God hovered, waiting. Then God spoke, "Let there be light." And there was light. It tore across the void, the first brightness the darkness had ever known. God saw the light, and he saw that it was good, and he drew a line between the light and the dark. The light he called day, the darkness he called night. And so the rhythm began, the rhythm that would shape all of creation. God speaks, and what he says becomes. There was evening, and there was morning, the first day. On the second day, God spoke again. He set a vast open expanse in the midst of the waters, and it divided the waters below from the waters above. God called that expanse sky. Where there had been one endless dark sea, now a great vault arched over it, wide and high and open, and for the first time, a sky looked down upon the waters. On the third day, God gathered the waters. "Let the dry land appear," he said, and the seas drew back, rolling into their deep places, and out of the water rose the land, mountains and valleys, plains and shores, solid ground where there had been none. God called the dry land earth, and the gathered waters he called seas, and he saw that it was good. But the land was still bare. So God spoke once more, and the earth itself answered. Grass spread green across the hills. Trees rose up heavy with fruit, each carrying its own seed, each able to bring forth more of its kind. In a single word, the whole world had been planted. There was evening, and there was morning, the third day. Now the empty realms were formed, the light, the sky, and the sea, the land, and God began to fill them. On the fourth day, he hung lights in the heavens, the greater light to rule the day, the sun, blazing gold over the young world, the lesser light to rule the night, the moon, pale and steady, and then, scattered across the dark, the stars, more than any man could ever count. He set them all in the sky to give their light to the earth and to mark the turning of the seasons, the days and the years. Now the world had a morning and an evening and a night quietly ablaze with light, and God saw that it was good. On the fifth day, the waters came alive. "Let the seas teem with living things," God said, "and let birds fly above the earth." And the oceans swarmed. Great creatures moved through the deep. Silver shoals turned as one, and above the waves, the sky filled with wings as birds rose from the cliffs and the trees into the open air. God blessed them. "Be fruitful," he said, "multiply, fill the seas and fill the sky." There was evening and there was morning, the fifth day. Then came the sixth day, and on the sixth day, the work of creation reached its height. First, God filled the land as he had filled the sea and the sky. "Let the earth bring forth living creatures," he said, and they came. Cattle across the open plains, wild animals in the hills, every small thing that creeps along the ground. The world that had been silent was now loud with life, every kind after its kind, and God saw that it was good. But God was not finished. There was one more thing to make, and this one would be unlike all the rest. "Let us make man in our image," God said, "after our likeness, and let them rule over the fish of the sea and the birds of the sky and over every living thing that moves upon the earth." And so he did. God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. Of all the creatures in all the world, only these two were made to carry something of their maker, to think, to choose, to love, and to walk with the one who had made them. God blessed them. "Be fruitful," he told them, "and multiply. Fill the earth and care for it. I give you every plant and every tree that bears its fruit. It will be your food." The whole green world was laid open before them, a gift. Then God looked out over everything he had made, the light and the dark, the sky and the seas, the land and all that grew from it, the sun, the moon, and the countless stars, the creatures of the water, the air and the earth, and the man and the woman who bore his image. And God saw that it was very good, not simply good, very good. The empty deep had become a living, breathing world, whole and ordered and full, and at its very heart stood a creature made to walk with the one who had made it. There was evening and there was morning, the sixth day. And so the heavens and the earth were finished, and everything in them. On the seventh day, God rested, not because he was weary, but because the work was done and it was good. He blessed that seventh day, and he made it holy. For one perfect moment, the world stood complete, whole, unbroken. The story does not end here. It has only begun.